Hello and welcome back to our podcast, Digitally Transformed. I am your host, Melissa. Today we're going to talk about some new exciting terms that Satya Nadella had announced at Inspire 2021. So let's get into it. With new technologies arising and innovation that is happening so rapidly, we're seeing some huge changes in how people work. In Satya Nadella's Inspire 2021 keynote speech at the Partner Conference last week, he highlighted that. He brought up some terms that really reflect where we're at and where we're headed in our work practices. And all of them tend to revolve around, you name it, flexibility, suggesting the more fluid nature that work is likely to take as we continue to adapt to these new societal and technological changes. So the first term that he mentioned was collaborative applications. There's a new category of apps that Nadella sees as increasingly critical in today's workforce. And these applications are breaking down the barriers between communications, business processes, and collaboration, essentially fusing them together for a more united workflow. Let me give you an example. Teams and Dynamics 365 are now integrated to make collaboration much more smooth. Teammates can finally communicate with each other very easily within the flow of work. The Power Platform and an organization's own app can be integrated and connected in an amazing reinforcing circuit. Independent software vendors like Adobe and ServiceNow are among others that are building collaborative apps to enrich the experience of their customers as well. And as someone who works from home myself, I'm really excited about that. All right, the next term that was announced is the hybrid work paradox. According to some recent Microsoft research, a majority of employees want more flexible remote work options, but they also want more in-person collaboration. This presents the hybrid work paradox. It's our new somewhat post-COVID era that brings the biggest structural change to work habits since the 9-to-5 workday began. Flexibility in physical location is a must for health and safety reasons, and many employees have found that they like remote work and they want to keep doing it regardless of COVID-19. Yet, people still need that social interaction. The solution to this paradox lies in the ability to work either remotely or in person, without it being cumbersome to switch back and forth. Or in hybrid models where some meeting attendees are in person and others are remotely connected. Tools that enable these kinds of abilities will fuel the successful work of tomorrow's employees. The next term that we heard was broad productivity. Just as work options are broadening in terms of location, so must our traditional understanding of productivity. All of us have probably seen in some way or another how last year's challenges led to shifts that became newly acceptable. Things like breaking up the workday, changing workflow habits, or focusing on tasks completed rather than hours clocked. With the stress of work and school changes alongside ongoing public health concerns, allowing for these kinds of shifts is huge. And Nadella suggests defining productivity beyond work completed, and to include the learning, collaboration, and well-being that together make healthy and thriving employees. And I have to say, I really agree with him. Embracing this well-rounded approach opens up the box to creativity and a workforce that can always keep growing. And last but not least, enterprise metaverse. If enterprise metaverse doesn't have a futuristic ring to it or invoke Star Trek in your mind, then I don't know what does. This is likely the most revolutionary term of Satya Nadella's keynote. It refers to the new layer of infrastructure stack that's getting created as digital and physical worlds converge. It's really a combination of digital twins, Internet of Things, and mixed reality. A digital twin is a digitized model of anything, physical or logical. For example, it could be a building, it could be a product, it could even be a more complex environment involving people and their interactions. Bound to its physical twin in real time, the digital twin can be used for inspections, environment monitoring, collaboration, simulations. Really, the possibilities are endless. And ultimately, artificial intelligence can be applied to analyze the data and predict the future states of that physical environment. The enterprise metaverse is also the place that you might end up meeting your coworker who lives across the country with an increasingly in-person feel. This interweaving of the physical and the digital is a groundbreaking advancement Really, it's just beyond anything that we've known in our workplace before. Some of these technologies seemed impossible not long ago. But as Captain Kirk said, things are only impossible until they are not. I hope you enjoyed learning about these new terms. My personal favorite is the enterprise metaverse. It just sounds so cool. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.